If you still think yoga is body postures or shapes strung together in such a way to help you feel better or to make you look a certain way, you're missing 7/8 of the pie. That's pretty much the whole pie. In this video, I'm going to talk about the foundation of yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga. So I want you to picture a tree, just a big tree. It could be an oak tree or a pine tree, really any kind of tree that you want. But allow your tree to have 8 branches. Your branches could have as many leaves, or it could be a fruit tree and it's very abundant with whatever kind of fruit your tree bears. Your tree could have roots down into the earth, deep down. So whatever kind of tree you have your 8 branches, opposed to something like a ladder, where there's one step, step 2, step 3. You go from one thing to the next. Everybody's yoga journey looks different, and everybody needs a little bit more or less of different things. But picture this tree, and we'll start talking about each branch, and I'll do an overview in this video. In the next following videos, I'm going to break each branch down in 1 or 2 at a time, so we can do a little bit of a deeper dive on how these aspects of yoga, this foundation of yoga, can show up in our lives, so that we can take yoga off our mat and into our daily life. When yoga comes off the mat, it becomes something deeper. It becomes something more sustainable, like a way of being. That doesn't mean you have to take on a yogi lifestyle and go live in the forest or at an ashram and shut out the world. What it means is that you can take aspects of yoga into your life and let that be enough. You don't have to do all of it. You don't have to change your life. But if something lands for you, it's worth exploring. So let's talk about these 8 limbs. So picture your tree, and we'll talk about the first 2 together, which is the yamas and the niyamas. Yamas and niyamas are personal and social ethics or observances. You could think of these as guidelines. Stay away from thinking of these as rules or something you have to do or don't do, but to allow your mind to expand open and think about how these ways of being with ourselves and other can create more peace in our life. I can't wait to dive into the yamas and niyamas in the next video. The next 2 I'll talk about together, which is asana, the physical practice, the movement practice that you're familiar with, getting on the mat, the sun salutations, the cat-cows, all of that is considered asana practice, yoga asana. Pranayama is the breath practices, the breath, the way we breathe, placing attention, awareness on our breath. Yoga has been around for at least 5,000 years and has been an oral tradition passed down from teacher to teacher. We see now in mainstream science the importance of how we breathe, how this impacts our health, our sleep, our energy. I mentioned in a previous video on breath that breath is everything. And so, of course, it's included in our tree. The next 2 are Pratyahara and Dharana. Pratyahara is withdrawing of the senses. Have you ever been in a project, maybe it was an art project or something at work, something that you maybe enjoyed doing and you lost yourself a little bit in it? Everything else around you just went away. Maybe somebody even said your name a couple of times and you didn't hear them. That is example of Pratyahara, withdrawing of the five senses to be more internal and inward. Asana guides us to Pratyahara, and we can also do this within our meditation and mindfulness. The senses are like horses, and they want to run and go in any direction that they can. Lots of things in our environment are things coming in. So the senses can chase this one and then chase that one. Our senses can get burnt out, believe it or not. Too much of something can absolutely deplete us. Too much of everything, and we're really looking at burnout. Dharana is concentration. Think about one pointed focus. You might have seen an exercise like candle burning or candle gazing, where you just stare at the flame to hone in your concentration. If we can hold our concentration in one place, say even on the breath, what happens is the next limb or next branch, which is Dhyana. Dhyana is meditation. I don't have time to go into the details on all the research that has been done on meditation and the benefits that it offers all of us. I like to think about it as, we plug our cell phones in to charge our cell phones each day or night, whenever we do that. And Dhyana meditation is like plugging in to recharge, closing down the apps, getting a full battery, recharging our vitality. Meditation does take practice, just like yoga asana, to build, and that energy builds similarly on our mat with meditation, where the more we do it, the easier it is to do it. And that's like everything. That's not a secret that I'm telling you. But if you feel like you're not somebody who can meditate, you've tried and it didn't work, you might try again. There are different ways to meditate, different styles, of course, right? There's not one thing that's going to work for absolutely every single one of us. So finding the right style of meditation can be really helpful. Everything is really building in the tree towards meditation. The purpose of yoga asana is to prepare the body for meditation, prepare the body to be still. When the body can be still, the mind can be still. The last limb or branch is Samadhi. Samadhi means bliss. Samadhi is the state of being when we have reached that connectedness, the body, the mind, the spirit or soul or self energy. When this is united in meditation, we experience Samadhi. And Samadhi is not really one that you can talk about. I can't explain it to you in words. It's something you have to feel for yourself. Imagine trying to explain to somebody, what it would be like if they stuck a wire in an electrical outlet, who's never, been around outlets, maybe they're from a different country. And you want to explain to them because you don't want them to put a wire in the outlet. So you want to explain to them what's going to happen. But how do you do that? You might make some gestures. You might try with words to explain the shock. But it won't do it justice. They will have to trust you. Or what might be better is to let them try it, to let them experience it for themselves. And that really is yoga. Yoga requires a direct experience to believe these things. So if what I have shared today didn't land in your body, it just sounded like I was saying words, that's okay. Just let it wash over you, because as you take on a sincere yoga practice, these things are unavoidable. It is part of the path. They are the ripples of your yoga practice. Bliss is a pretty good ripple. I've done some things that have had worse ripples than bliss. So I hope that this has been a good overview for you of the foundation of yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, and I will see you in the next video where we'll talk about the yamas and niyamas in a little more detail.